Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well. So, today our topic is we are bringing parenting and chiropractic care. Okay, so this is our first chiropractor. Here is the chiropractor practitioner we are bringing here. So, it's exciting. So, we're going to in Okay, I'm just gonna accept this. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ange or Anjali. Something happening here. Here she is. Hi,
Hi.
Liz. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. This is really exciting that I get to share a little bit with all the mums and dads that help support them. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome, isn't it? So I'm just going to introduce myself quickly. So my name is Ange or Anjali, and I'm women's health movement coach and nutrition counselor, and I'm the founder of this page. And today we have amazing Elise, Dr. Elise, and who is from Wellness Within Studio. And I'm just going to read a little bit of your bio. So, Dr. Elise is a vibrant and dynamic chiropractor dedicated to supporting families at Wellness Within Studio on the Gold Coast. She offers personalized premium care for mums, bubs, and kids, creating a nurturing and welcoming environment for holistic family health. I so believe in you because you're like you're so happy person, and the kids will be happy.
They will be. Yeah.
Yes, uh, and and Dr. Ellis provides support for families, including pregnancy and postnatal care, to wellness care for the family, post-birth checks for BAB, posture assessments, feeding support, and care for unsettled babies. Her expertise also includes managing tongue ties, growing pains, milestone delays, and now it's a tricky one for my accent, okay? Scoliosis care.
Yes. Amazing.
Okay, I try. And your commitment to holistic family health makes you trusted partner for parents seeking optimal well-being for themselves and their little ones. So that's it. That is so full, it's like so caring. I can feel this. You are so caring person and helping the parents, with their kids. Yeah, I can feel it and hear it and see it in you.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, and before we start this live, I just wanted to say that this topic is all about to bring awareness and educate on our topic parenting, and with including chiropractic care. And this is not a specific diagnosis for anybody. And if you are concerned or if you like to, try out chiropractic care, and then you all can talk to Dr. Elise, and we have Q&A session at the end, and we can participate at that time, or I'll put all the details, contact details, in my content, so you can directly contact her. So yes, so should we dive into our questions, or
Yeah.
would you like to add in anything before we start?
No, that was a really lovely introduction. Thank you.
It's a long talking, but yes, I'm trying to get better at faster, at getting faster. Yeah. All right. So the first thing first is, what does a chiropractor do?
That's a great question.
Yes,
A lot of people,
I think we all should know. Yes.
a lot of people think of chiropractic and they think, why would you bring your child or your baby to a chiropractor? So I'll explain a little bit about what I do. So with
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic, it's really important because it's all to do with how your brain
Mm-hmm.
communicates with your brain has to send lots of signals to your organs, your muscles, your joints, every cell, and it does that through the spinal
Mm-hmm.
cord, which sits in the spine. So if your spine is moving really well, then those
Mm-hmm.
flow beautifully and the body knows
Mm-hmm.
what and how to heal.
Yes.
If those bones lock or
Yeah.
jam, which can be from position in utero, birth process, falls, eating foods, lots of drinking, not
Mm-hmm.
drinking enough,
Yes.
emotional stresses, lots of things. So it all adds up. Then all of a sudden the brain's not receiving all of those messages as well as it should. My job as a chiropractor is to come in, find out where those areas are locked, get them moving, and then the brain can start to send those signals and start to heal the body, help it to function, because that's what it does. It helps your body to function and heal. So that's what I do.
So, oh, you explained it so easily. So it's the spinal. So every time when I try to re-say it, and my brain goes blank. But yeah, you all have to go back and listen to that beautifully explained what is chiropractic care is. Okay, so so we'll dive into so how can chiropractors support during pregnancy for our like mums?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you think about because we're talking about parenting, so we've got to start right at the beginning. As a parent, when you're pregnant and you're about to birth your child, so something that's really important is helping your body to birth that child the best way that you can. So if your pelvis is nice and straight, then your baby is going to be able to get in the right position, have a better time going through the birth canal. Then that's really important. If your pelvis is crooked, then imagine all that's going to be a little bit harder and could potentially lead to birth being a little bit harder for both you and for Bub, which then means that there could be a bit of a cascade of things for Bub and their health afterwards. So that's one of the things I love when it comes to looking after pregnant women. There's also research that shows that when you're adjusted in your low back pelvic area, and this is only for pregnant women, but it actually helps your pelvic floor to relax. And that's really, really important for your labour. You want your pelvic floor to know how to relax. So absolutely. Really good. And also, if you've got a nice straight pelvis and your spine's able to move really well, it's telling all the muscles how they should be working, then your baby has lots of room to move in there, and it can also get into the best position for birth. And then also in the right position, and they're going to be nice and evenly sitting on the cervix, which makes the cervix dilate more effectively during labour. Whereas if baby's a bit crooked in there, that can slow that process. So yeah, that's how I love to see. If you're a pregnant mum and you're noticing, I feel a bit crooked, or I'm getting sciatic pain, or pubic symphysis dysfunction, or pelvic girdle. I just want to check and make sure I'm straight. Then a great way to help support your little Bub and start your parenting journey.
Yes, that's amazing. That because we don't realize, it involves so many things. Like we're like, oh, we're just gonna give birth and we'll be fine. But if we have the support like you are providing, and we can just make the birthing, like the birthing journey, or all this pregnancy time in way a little bit better, right? So yes, thank you for explaining that. And why should we take our little one to see chiropractor?
I love seeing kids and babies. It's just, it's so much fun. So as I was talking about with birth, oftentimes what people don't realize is that 90% of babies will have some form of strain through their head, through their neck, from in utero, the birth process. And so they can already start off their journey being a little bit crooked and a little bit sore. And so that's 10% of babies, you'll see that straight away and you'll go, there's something not quite right. And then 8%, you may not see anything unless you're trained to know what to look for, or you may not see it a little bit older. So I think for all parents, it's a great idea to go and have your child seen by a health professional. Chiropractors, if they're trained in pediatrics, are amazing. But to go and see, because if your Bub is a little bit crooked, or favors turning their head in one direction, or has a flat spot, then that's going to impact how they're feeding, because they can't turn one way properly. So it's harder for them to feed. Then that cascades. If they can't turn their head properly one way, then they're going to find it harder to roll in that direction. Then probably struggling to crawl because they don't really know how to use one side of their body as well as the other. So everything is a cascade. So I find that with chiropractic care, you can catch things. So you can help with feeding when they're really little. You can help them to learn how to, if they're missing milestones, like they're rolling, they're sitting, they're crawling, they're walking. If they're doing funky crawls that aren't a proper cross crawl, if they're like able to sit independent, or they can sit, but they then can't get to crawling when they should. So if they're delayed or they're missing something, then we've got to find out what's stopping them, because kids inherently want to move. And then if you think for kids that are a little bit older, I get lots of kids coming in with, they might have neck pain or back pain, and kids shouldn't have neck and back pain. Like, they're young, they should be strong and great, and also see quite crooked, and kids should be strong. So I check a lot of kids. We check scoliosis on a lot of kids. I do a lot of posture checks, because we've got to find out what's locking up. Why can't you be straight? What's going on? Because if you're not straight and you're crooked, then your brain's not getting those messages through properly. Even like growing pains can be because something's locked and jammed. So then your muscles get too tight. So checking all that. And then with kids as well, there's a thing called primitive reflexes, which you probably remember from your baby. You know, those big startles that they do, or their little rooting, and they're like trying to find the boob. So they're really normal up to a certain point, usually in that first year. And then they're meant to just settle down as the front part of the brain develops and it starts to take over some of those functions. What can happen is with kids that have reflux or have been held a bit more because they were unsettled or for any number of reasons, they can keep some of those reflexes still going in the brain. So for example, startle reflex, if it stays in the brain past 6 months, it actually becomes a fight and flight response. And so then you're developing your emotional brain saying, I'm not safe, I'm stressed. And then your frontal lobe develops, which is where we make all our decisions from as we get older. But if your emotional like, I'm not safe, then you're going to be based on that. So so I see a lot of kids with retained reflexes. There's quite a few of them, so I go through and check them all. But if they've got them still there, then we can go, hey, your brain's working harder than it needs to be right now, which could be affecting their attention at school. It could be affecting their coordination. It could be affecting their energy levels. So we look at that, and then we go, okay, what exercises do you need to do at home to help that integrate? And then we also make sure that, hey, if you're locked up anywhere in here, then your brain is getting the information to help you go, hey, that's even still going. Like, we need to clear the pathways out so the brain can retrain. And then stuff at home to do to kind of, it's like rehab at home for the brain.
I love that, you know, you're not just trying to fix the issue, but giving people what to do afterwards to keep that, you know, like to giving people the solution for it, and then helping them to, because I take my kids to chiropractor. So when my son gets starting to get really edgy and be angry and like that, so we take him to chiropractor, because lots of times he seems to get his neck out. So after, as soon as the adjustment, he's completely different kid, because he doesn't have a headache. He doesn't have, you know, all those, he gets a lot of headache because it's easy. But at the same time, trying to do exercise is another challenge. It's like, trying to remember.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, I try and keep all my exercises as games, and we keep them as options, so that you can go, what one does the kid actually want to do, and then do that. So
I think it'll be fun.
Something that's also really interesting for kids when there's like big emotions or a lot of that stuff going on. You're like, okay, here you've got your vagus nerve has to travel through. So if you're a bit locked up through there, that can actually impact how that is sending information. And the vagus nerve is like a brake for the brain. It just goes, hey, slow down, you're okay. Just get out of that fight and flight. So if you're locking up, it kind of loses its ability to do that as well. So that's why when you get it can help the emotions go, I can actually regulate myself.
There we go. When you explain it so nicely that it's easier to understand. It makes sense.
Oh, good.
Because otherwise we just take them and, oh, he's now sorted for a little
Yeah.
bit, you know.
Go again for a little while.
Yes, yes, and we take
Yeah.
him back. Yeah, thank you so much for explaining so beautifully. And so, and I wanted to ask you our like final question is, what are the common myths about chiropractic care for children or even for adults, people who are a little bit hesitant towards this care?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think with chiropractic that when you're going to go, I'm going to get that crack, and that can be a little bit scary. There's
Mm,
nothing wrong with that. It's with chiropractic, as I said, it's about how the brain needs to communicate to the
mm,
body, and
mm,
locking up and jammed, which most people actually put too much stress on our bodies, our minds, our guts, just too much stress on them.
yes.
We lock up. But what that cracking, that manual adjustment is one technique. And there's a few different techniques out there that chiropractors can utilize to get that system working again and get it
Yeah.
communicating and helping. So the techniques that I use, because obviously I see lots of mums and bubs and kids, are really gentle.
Mm,
Like, for example,
mm,
baby, it's the pressure you put on an eyeball, is the
mm-hmm.
pressure that I'm using. So there's different techniques out there. So I think, yeah, I think because most people know that one style of chiropractic, they shy away from it. Whereas
Mm,
I absolutely love that style of chiropractic, and they live for it. They can't wait to go get adjusted that way. But I
yes.
think that there are different ways to get adjusted. So if you are a bit
Mm,
concerned, you can call chiropractors and you can just ask them questions about how they adjust and if they've got gentle
mm,
ways to do it. Because there's different ways to do things for
yes.
the body to function well.
And you can always ask if it is pregnancy friendly, or or the children friendly, or like that.
Yeah,
And like yourself, like children and mums and bubs can come together,
yes,
right? Yeah,
definitely can. As a
yeah.
parent, like, yeah, just ask the questions, and if you're not sure, you can always chat to someone like me, even if I'm not in your area, and then I can like see if there's people I know who
Yeah,
could.
just send you a message, quick
Always
message.
options. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so that was our last question for Dr. Ellis. If any of the viewers, if you have any questions, please comment down below. Then while waiting for the questions, please let us know where we can find you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes,
So that's always a good question.
very
So I'm
important.
very important. I'm on the Gold Coast, and I'm down on the southern end of the Gold Coast in Coolangatta.
Hmm.
So yeah, and it's a great little spot. I'm across from a women's health physio, and yeah, yeah, it's just a beautiful little space down here. So that's where I am. And if you're wanting to reach out to me, you can jump on the website, which is wellnesswithinstudio.com.au, or you can
Hmm.
jump on Instagram, which is wellnesswithin.studio. You can also email me if you feel like it at reception@wellnesswithinstudio.com.au. So yeah, or even if you've got, yeah, just send me Instagram and probably email and phone. I'll answer to those three. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming here today. So if any of our viewers, if you have any questions, or later on, if you want to ask any questions, please send a message directly to Dr. Ellis. And yeah, I would like to say thank you so much for being here, everybody, and yourself. Thank you for being our first chiropractor for our live.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me, Ange. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. You have a great afternoon, everybody, or wherever you are. You have a great time, and thank you so much. Bye. See ya.